Welcome to another edition of One Voice at a Time. We have a very special guest here today, and I'm going to introduce her just a minute, but I want to remind you what this show is about. It's about you. It's for you. What do you want to know? What do you want to tell people? Are you happy about something you want to share? Is there something you think needs fixing and you want to share? Whatever you want to talk about, we're here for that purpose. If you don't want to be on yourself, just let me know and tell me what your interest is, and I will find someone to, I'm sorry, my puppy's whining over here. I will find someone to come on and talk about that issue for you. Contact information is always at the end of the show, and feel free to call or email. And now let's get started with our show. This is Denise Marie McIntosh, and she is with Fairy Tale Access, a program that she does in Nashua. Yes. And sounds like it's going to happen all over the world soon. And she's here to talk mainly about Egypt today. She loves it there. She's been there several times and thought that it would be great to have us have a good understanding of what it is really like over there. Denise, welcome. I'm so glad you came.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to share my trip with you.
I know, you sounded excited, and I think that other people are going to really learn a lot about Egypt that we never even thought we didn't know. So, where would you like to start?
Well, I guess traveling there.
Okay. How do you get there?
How do you get there? The best thing to do is look, when you're booking the airlines, look at customer reviews. There's so many places to get tickets now. And the customer reviews are the biggest thing. So this time I actually used a company called Just Fly.
Really? I don't think I've ever heard of them.
I know. And the other ones that I had heard of had really bad reviews.
Really?
Really.
Okay.
So Google the reviews when you're booking and see what other people thought, what their experience was like, customer service. And I also flew on Turkish Airlines this time and stopped over in their hut in Istanbul.
Okay.
It's huge. So huge. So when it's like being in an excessively oversized mall.
Really?
Really,
yeah.
There's all these duty-free shops. So it's really easy to get distracted, and I suggest that you don't. You need to really look for your next flight.
I was going to say.
Where it's leaving out of, and
yeah, you don't be standing at the register
direction.
when the last call comes through.
Exactly. Which can happen because they have a really nice woman announcer, announcing the flights, and you hear like, we're departing for Casablanca. And you immediately think of the movie Casablanca. And I was drinking coffee, thinking about it. And then they were announcing my flight, and I was like, I gotta go. So, don't plan out your next trip while you're having coffee, waiting for your flight to take off.
So Just Fly, and that was the...
Just Fly, and it was a really good source for getting the airline ticket. Right. But it all depends. Any day that you look, you should look for a couple of days, plan a few weeks ahead, at least 3. I think you get the better deals. I did it 2 weeks ahead, and I still got a great deal.
Okay.
It was going to Egypt for 9 days was less than going to Disney World for a week.
Wow. Okay, including the airfare.
Including meals, including sightseeing, and some amazing history that is so Disney-like. But it's real life.
Fantastic. Okay.
It was beautiful. So one of the places that you definitely want to visit when you go to Egypt is in Cairo, it's the Egyptian Museum. It's world famous. Some amazing history is included in there. They don't allow pictures, but out front, when I went, I met a troop of Boy Scouts, and they were so cute. They welcomed me to Egypt, talked to me about where they were going to school. It was so cute.
That's great, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if a lot of people know, but Boy Scouts are in 179 countries.
Well, I was just going to say, I didn't know that. I always think Boy Scouts of America. So there are Boy Scouts of Egypt or Boy Scouts of, how does that work?
They're in 179 countries.
Wow.
They're everywhere. And they're doing all the same things that the boys are doing here. And it's boys and girls. So
I wonder if Boy Scouts do exchange programs with each other. Wouldn't that be cool?
that would be cool.
Yeah.
But they told me all about their merit badges and
Yeah.
where they were going. Another good thing, another thing that you definitely want to do is check out the culture. Learn a little of the language, at least enough to say hello, like marhaba is hello.
Ruhaba?
Marhaba.
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 I think I saw this
now
ad
I'm
on
going to say
TV.
it wrong, and
I'm sorry.
everybody will be like, she learned nothing
That's
on
all
her
right.
trip.
No, you go with it.
So on this trip, I was lucky because I'm working with an advertising firm, and we did a test show, which will be coming out at the end of the month or early May. And I met another journalist who works there, and she was kind enough to introduce me to her children and invite me into her home.
Oh, that's nice.
And they were 9 and 12, Habiba and Hamza, and their mother's name was Doyet. I hope. And anyway, they tried to teach me Arabic. Oh my gosh, a lot of raised eyebrows. But I tried.
Yeah.
And I think if you try, people are more likely to help you out along the way.
Yeah.
But you'll find the people in Egypt are amazing. They're so friendly.
Yeah.
There's other areas in the airport or at tourist sites where people want to help you, and they'll carry your luggage or move things for you, but they expect to be tipped.
So they like Americans?
They do.
Good.
They like everybody.
Yeah.
I think they really do like everybody.
Yeah.
I think it's, I think like anywhere, it's, the politics
Sure.
more than it is the people.
I totally agree with you.
So, whether or not our president is doing his job, or I think it's more about that than, about the dumb things that they do in public.
Yeah.
But I think every president around the world or leader has made some little mistake. And then going to the pyramids, it's amazing. But they're only open from 8 to 4. So what do you do when you get there late and you can't get in?
Oh, no.
We got there at 3:47 because the traffic is the waiting game in Egypt. It's crazy. There's no lights at all.
Every man for himself?
No, yeah. Yes. There's no stop signs.
Oh,
and
no.
yeah, so it's crazy traffic. And coming in from Ansaknar, which is a resort area that people from Cairo go to a lot on the weekends, there's a long straight highway. So you can go about 100 miles an hour on the way in and out. But in Cairo, it's going to come to a standstill and almost crash. So going into Giza, though, it was amazing because you see the pyramids, they just suddenly loom up out of the sky. And when you get in and you can't get in, you can still go see the pyramids. But I think people might be concerned about the people that they're dealing with. So they should know that the people that work in Giza all work for the government. The animals, whether it's a donkey or a horse or a camel that are being used to pull carts or go horseback riding around the pyramids or four-wheeling even.
Oh, wow.
Yes, you can take them out into the desert and go wild. So all of those people work for the government. So yes, you're going to get that great experience that you see in Aladdin, and you can argue about the price, and it's a challenge. It's fun. But these are all great guys. They all know the history. So taking you out, they'll be able to explain it to you. On our way in, I took a little buggy with a Arabian horse.
Oh, they're beautiful.
They are. And did you know the breed has been around as long as the pyramids?
No, I did not.
Yeah. So that was fun.
I actually had a foal that was half quarter horse, half Arabian. We bred her.
Oh, really?
They're amazing animals.
They
So
are. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
And she danced.
Yes, okay, yeah.
And then the camel, my camel was Moses. And when we said his name, he actually put his head
Recognize that, yeah.
Yeah. He was so cute. It's a lot like riding a horse, but a little bit wider and a little more difficult to get on.
Yeah.
They do get up with their hind legs first.
So you pitch forward?
No, yeah, so you have to lean really far back and just make sure that you're straight because it is a little wobbly getting up. And coming out along the outskirts, so you're going to go through back alleys, you're going to go by a graveyard, a very old graveyard.
Wow.
You're going to come into it's just the desert, like you would see in Arabian Nights.
Yeah.
And you'll see a little tents off in the distance. And those are great because you can stop there to have coffee. And they have cute little cushions that you can sit on. And yeah,
it sounds like a great experience.
It's very like Arabian Nights. And they have coffee, which is my addiction.
Yeah.
But from the top, you can see the whole city skyline.
Wow.
Oh, it's amazing.
Did you take tons of pictures?
Too many pictures.
Yeah.
I think I took pictures of everything. But the panoramic view that you're going to get from taking this type of tour when you can't get into the pyramids, you can show pictures where you're touching the pyramid.
Okay.
The guides are great. They'll line everything up for you. And this particular picture is a picture of myself, my cameraman, Edmead, and my partnership is Mahmoud Hafez, and he's with Calicut Advertising. So it was his company and mine that came up with the collaboration, and he was amazingly easy to work with.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, so patient.
Yeah.
Really unbelievably patient. And with the language barrier, sometimes Google Translate is the best.
Okay.
Bing, not at all.
Okay.
No, if you have Facebook and you have friends from other countries or you speak another language, you can definitely check the difference because Bing will not always translate or it'll give you some gibberish back.
Okay.
Google Translate, even when I used it there and in Turkey, it was right on the button.
That's good to know.
It was.
These are some great travel tips.
It was great, especially with the kids because sometimes, they didn't get what I was saying. I'm like, wait, let me just tell you. So it worked out really well. And then there's alternative transportation. So there's these cute little rickshaws. They're three-wheeled cars. They fit about 4 people or maybe 5 if you really squish. But they're little taxis and vehicles for hire, and they're great because a lot of the streets are really windy and narrow, especially in Giza. So it really helps to go through there. And then they have regular taxis in the city of Cairo.
Now those rickshaws, what's pulling the rickshaw?
It's more like they have 3 wheels. It's like a little car. But it's a little more elaborately designed. Some of them have neon lights.
Okay, so it's not like kind of rickshaw that you might see in China.
No.
Okay.
No, it's this cute little motorized, I think they call it a tuk. Tuk.
Sounds like a tough language to learn.
It really was hard, but I tried. And then when you go shopping, some of the great places in Giza, I met a young man, Ali. He was about 15 years old, and he stopped to chat with me. So you'll see these young people selling different tourist items, like little pyramids or anything, King Tut, postcards, but they all have different things.
Yeah.
So this young man was very sweet, and he told me about all the places to shop, and I said, great, so after this we'll go shopping. And he took me to the wholesale market, and I got to sit down with the owner and talk to him, and he agreed to talk with us on camera. Very nice man, told us about his family and his shop. He's been there for over...
Now, were they speaking English?
They spoke English,
Yeah,
and the guys were in the back, and they spoke a couple of times they had to interpret, but a lot of people speak English. The young man that helped me find this location, he speaks 4 or 5 different languages.
Wow.
Yeah. So different educations.
Yeah. But it is amazing to me how many parts of the world actually do speak English. And yet we don't speak that many languages here.
I know.
You know?
It's sad because we really should learn more languages. I try to learn a little of everything wherever I go, just enough to get around. And
especially please
now
and
with
thank
Google,
you.
especially, and Google Translate is just great for, you know, carrying on conversations. But having the gentleman that I had with me, they were behind the camera and they were able to translate what I was asking. But Mr. Kamadi was the nicest man, and shopping there was an amazing experience because at the end I had purchased everything I wanted for everybody. And
it probably cost you more there than it did to get that to fly over.
No, actually, it was so reasonable, and the service was great. There was these amazing magnets that I bought my mother because she collects them from everywhere she travels to. She definitely has wanderlust. So she just asked for magnets, and they were really pretty. And he was like, "Oh, you know, you can get these for less." And I'm like, "No, no, no, it's for my mom. It's okay." But it was still more than reasonable. And just how long some of the things they have in that shop take to make. They're beautiful. It was amazing. But if you want a fair deal, it's just kind of down the street from the Sphinx, but kind of down around the corner.
That sounds so funny. Down around the corner from the Sphinx, go that way.
Right. But if you ask for the whole seal market, any of the boys around town will be able to tell you where take you there. Exactly. Yeah. And then some of the fun things we found. Kentucky Fried Chicken is in Egypt.
Is it made differently?
It didn't seem to be. It smelled the same when I ran inside because I was trying to find a bathroom. And it was great because...
Well, here's a travel tip from me.
Okay.
Go to the hospital.
For the bathroom?
There's usually a cafeteria that welcomes everybody.
Oh, that's true. But when you're on the streets, I mean,
probably,
in the hospital.
I'm not thinking you're around the corner from the Sphinx, though. Okay.
Yeah. But this was in Cairo, and Kentucky Fried Chicken delivers there on motorcycles.
Oh my God.
So they were adorable. And then going into the area of the Hussein Mosque, I met this woman, Nana, and she did a henna on my hand for me.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What was it?
It was great. It came out really beautiful, and it took forever to get off. So that's the only thing. If you get a henna, it's going to be there for a little while.
But not forever, and that's the point, too.
That is a good point. So if you've ever wanted to try a tattoo, but you hate needles.
That's a good way to try it, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And every country does them a little bit different and different colors. Yeah. So you should check. Black is the hardest to get off, and I got black.
Okay. Kind of makes sense that it would be the hardest.
Oh, it was really hard. And it's great until it starts to fade and it's sporadic.
And now it doesn't look like anything anymore?
Right. Then you're like, okay. But I was there. And then on the trips that we're looking at doing, we're always looking for something going on that's different. So the Boy Scouts had introduced us to the Harvard Egypt School.
Oh, tell us about that.
The Harvard Egypt College is for K through 12, and these children are getting an amazing experience. It was created, it's privately funded, and it was created by an engineer named Dr. Mohammed Osman, and he had everything in there. It started with, we started out looking at the aeronautics program. They have a complete plane with all of the pieces. They learn about the black box. They learn how the wings span, how it all works together. As they grow up, they can decide where they want to concentrate. And I checked online, and a lot of these kids are getting into schools all over the world.
Wow.
They have a full department. Well, when you go in, you'll see the airplane to the left of the building, and the building is about 5 stories tall. It's amazing. It's so beautiful. It's just It looks like a skyscraper.
So it wasn't just built by private money, is it, they continue to support the school?
No, it's privately funded.
Right, that's what I meant, yeah.
Oh.
So it's still privately funded for the ongoing, it wasn't
Right.
just a building and not, see you
Oh,
later.
no, they built
Yeah.
everything. It has this beautiful marble entranceway. It has fields for the kids to play on, whether it's soccer or basketball. They have a swimming pool. They have dance classes. They have their own museum that's almost an exact replica of the world famous Egypt Museum.
Wow.
So the children can learn about their history and actually physically touch it.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It is, it is. Where do we get one of those?
I don't know. We definitely
Must be
need
somebody
one of
really
those.
wealthy out there that wants to do good stuff.
Exactly. And then they have small engine repair. So they have all kinds of equipment from convention ovens to the really old ones to right up to date.
Yeah.
So they can see how they're made. They can see how they progressed over the years. What are the main components? What makes them really work?
Yeah.
As young as 5, they have flight simulators. So the children are learning, getting that amazing experience of feeling like they're flying.
5.
5.
Wow.
That's the youngest one I saw. Yes. And they have full shop classes with wood and metal. And these children even made things out of bronze.
It sounds like, so much of this sounds like the way we used to build high schools, to have the voc ed classes and all of that, and that we have kind of pulled back on those things a lot. And I don't know that we should. Everybody doesn't go to college.
Right.
And
Well, it not only has the voc ed, it goes into the medical field.
oh yeah, I remember you saying that. That
So-
sounds awesome.
In these pictures, there's a young man in the class. He was having an ultrasound on his tummy for us, but a 12-year-old girl did an ultrasound on my hand and printed out a picture of it. Another 12-year-old girl, maybe, she might be a little younger, but she did an eye exam, and they have all of the equipment. They even have dental. They do small operations. They have incubators for babies. But the biggest thing I found was that, you know, as you're going through school, you're learning all of these math things, and sure, you know,
Yeah.
lots of kids do them in their
Technology,
head and they can get it just like that. But when you have all of your senses involved and you actually get to experience, you can decide, you know, you can say, you know, I really like dealing with
This is
people
what I
and I
wanna
really
do.
like testing people's eyesights, or, you know, I don't mind going in people's mouths. I think I'd like to do this as a
Yeah.
profession, but you can start younger and experience more so that when you're an adult, like you find in America, nobody's keeping the same job indefinitely.
Right. You got to
Because
learn
there-
how to learn.
They keep trying new things. What if you experience all those things when you're younger and get a real taste for it and develop a love for what you like to do? You know, then you can be exceptional at it.
Yeah, that would be good. I know that we try and give kids some experience, but it's very brief usually in other the different kinds of jobs that they can have as they move forward. But it also sounds to me like the kids in Egypt are going to be decisive when they hit. How old would they be when they went to college? Would
They're
they be the
still
same
about-
age as us or a little
Right,
younger?
they're still about 18. when they
17,
go.
18, okay. And a lot of our kids now are taking that year off because they don't know what they want to be or what they want to do.
Exactly.
And a lot of them go into college with one idea and come out the other end with a totally different idea and have
And
to go back to college. So,
Right. Well, I
so-
think the experience of just having the hands-on practical knowledge really helps them in their decision making.
I think
Where
it
if you-
would, yeah.
Yeah, and they don't have, like, if you hopped over the border a little bit to Israel, you know, it's mandatory that you have to go into for service.
Okay.
So those kids are traveling, you know, right after they get out of the service, and they go to school later.
Okay.
But they get that time in the military to experience different jobs that they can do in the private sector as well. Now, maybe not drive a tank
Yeah.
or something, or a fighter plane, but they get different experience and they can decide where they want to go. And I think that's what young people need. You need to experience new things, and you need to know that adults trust you with all this
Yeah,
equipment.
yeah.
You know, and then I
Kids
don't
will
think
step up to the level that you hold for them.
exactly.
Yeah.
So there's more challenges. There's increased creativity.
How long is their school day?
These all,
you
it's
know?
about the same as ours.
Yeah.
Yep. And they all get bussed in from different areas in Cairo.
So about an 8-hour day.
About a
And get-
7 or 8 hour day.
Yeah, and plus getting bussed in and bussed back out again.
Right.
Yeah. I'm amazed that they can fit all this into the school
Absolutely.
day.
They even have robotics.
Oh, jeez.
So they were so
Yeah.
excited to show me
Yeah.
what they were starting to work on. And they're all happy. They're
Yeah.
all smiling in their classes.
Yeah.
You know, they really enjoy learning new things. And I think especially with math, which was my hardest subject.
Me too.
Like,
I don't know, language might have been my hardest.
well, languages were okay, but I don't know, math was so hard because especially, you know, trig and algebra, and you're like, really, what am I going to use this for? But if you're using it and you have that knowledge
Right.
of like touching it with your hands, and this is how the component works together.
Yep.
I mean, that's so much more. So
Now you know
I
the application, not just the technical aspects of things, not just what's written in the book.
Right, you actually get the hands-on experience of trying it and feeling, you know, what it's like to
And
cut
it
wood
seems
or
like-
cut
yeah.
metal, and what that is going to be like. Is
And it
that
would address all types of learners. The ones that learn by hands-on is a large group of our kids need to learn that
there's
way.
no more than 20 kids in a class in this school,
Good.
and they have one-on-one. So if somebody is excelling or definitely wants a different area, they rise to meet their needs.
Wow.
They're not treated as a whole class. This is what we're doing. This is the subject matter. Each individual child is given that one-on-one attention, and the teachers were amazing.
So they're actually given that opportunity to reach their own personal potential.
exactly.
That's what more could you do for a
Then,
kid?
yeah, they just didn't seem to be packaged into, you know, a one-size-fits-all that you find in a lot of the schools in America. And some of our schools are very good, but too many of our public schools are not giving them the opportunities they need so that they can
And a
even
lot
go to
of times
college.
that's because they're not getting the funding that they need to do those sorts of things.
Maybe they just have to be more creative with how they spend money, and
That
the
can happen.
teachers that they retain, you know, you have to have teachers that love what they do and
Oh,
want to
absolutely.
share their knowledge. And every teacher that we met here
Was like that.
was happy to be there. The doctors that come in, they have full-time jobs. They work 2 days a week with the school to come in and teach classes. You know, the same with the engineers. They have their businesses and they come in to teach classes. So what I really liked is just the philanthropy behind it, the way
Yes.
that these people come in and take time out of their busy work schedules to work with children.
It seems like an ideal situation for them.
Absolutely. And then we went into the Hussein Mosque. It's amazing, beautiful Gothic architecture. The women are on one side, the men are on the other. It isn't typical in all mosques. There isn't separate entrances, but here there was. And going in, the gentleman that I was with were like, okay, as long as we can see you, you can go. And I'm like, well, you're not going to be able to see me go inside, and I'm going inside, so I'll be fine. But the ladies inside were so nice. And when you go in, you take off your shoes, you check them in with the gentleman at the door. They give you a little ticket. And then...
Now, they weren't doing that historically, were they?
But, no, maybe they do. They probably did, because everybody takes off their shoes
Yeah,
going into a
yeah.
mosque. And they have this great waiting area, and then they go into the cast. And it's all silver. It's huge. It's the intricate detail is unbelievable. And when I walked in, a lot of ladies have their heads covered to varying
Yeah.
degrees, and I didn't. So I caught one lady's eye, because I think wherever you go, if you give the impression that you do want to fit in,
Yeah, right.
like being in school,
you're not
now you want to fit in, and you talk to people. She
and
was
you want to be
really
respectful of their culture.
right. So and their customs. So she came over. She didn't speak English, and she knew exactly what I was talking about.
Okay.
And she came over. She helped me tie it. We took the
Oh.
selfie together, and then she even helped me take pictures inside.
Oh, how nice.
She was really sweet. And the other women that were around were just really more welcoming. Even though we didn't speak the same language, we just shared
You
that.
just knew that warmth was there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you felt really welcome and, not awkward. But I think you should be like that whenever you go into any religious
Yeah, I would
establishment.
agree.
And then right around that same area is this amazing bazaar that I can't pronounce.
Oh,
Kahili? The Al Kahili. This place is just what you see in Aladdin.
really?
Really, it's going down the corridors of shops and things hanging and colorful, and in this picture it just shows the whole alleyway with everything you can imagine to choose from clothing to souvenirs, light fixtures. In one shop, that's all they sold was different light fixtures, perfumeries where you can buy the oils.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of bartering. And you can usually get the price that you ask for.
Really? Yeah.
If you hold out long enough. It's really hard, but it's just fun to
But
negotiate.
everybody does it, so
They
they
do.
expect it to be.
Well,
part
I
of
think
the
the
deal.
shop people would like you to buy it at the price
Well,
they first
sure,
name.
but yeah.
But it's the experience. And I think for all travelers going in, it's just a fun experience. And
Yeah.
if you keep an open mind, you can get some great deals to bring home and really unique, something that nobody else will have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just a lot of fun. What else can I tell you? Did I miss anything?
I don't know. Let's see if there was anything else on here. I had a list from before. Okay. Who did you meet? The pyramids, transportation system, just have fun, the school, the mosque, the bazaar. And then it says the head fairy discussions.
Oh, the head fairy discussions.
Yeah.
Well,
How did that?
I am known as the head fairy who releases fairy tale access.
Okay.
But I also have to go out and unravel the tales that are happening in real time, not once upon a time.
Okay.
So I partnered with Calicut, and that's what we have set out to do. We're
Yeah,
going
what is Calicut?
Calicut is an advertising firm in Egypt, and Mr. Hafez is the owner and director.
So that's the person that you.
I met there and that I worked with.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is unravel the tales that are happening in real time, what the people are really like, dispel misconceptions, and introduce the Northeast, starting in the Northeast United States, and introduce them to the Middle East and vice versa.
Sounds good.
So, a little bit about their history, what they do every day, do they view things the same way? How's life a little bit different?
I think that's great because the more we understand other cultures, the more inclusive we will be.
Absolutely. And as the head fairy, I go in and I talk with young children about, we promote literacy and travel because travel is like a book. And if you only open a page and you only read the first chapter, you're never going to reach happily ever after.
Okay.
So if you don't travel, you're not going to know what makes up your own personal happily ever after.
Okay.
You have to understand the choices that are
Yeah.
out there and ask more questions.
Sounds really good. Now,
So-
are there any other components of this as far as like the distribution? How are you going to manage that?
Well, it's going on different networks, probably in the Middle East. And then here we're going to use the Community Access Network.
Yeah.
So that we can reach a larger crowd, because there are so many community access stations across the nation.
Oh,
we want to be able to give them a really
Yeah.
good product that they can show their audiences, and that will be engaging and free to the public.
And the Alliance for Community Media has that option of putting it out to the whole country.
Oh, that's
And
great.
that would be great. In New Hampshire, we have the New Hampshire Coalition for Community Media. And that group is a statewide group, and all the not all the access centers, but a large number of the access centers in the state belong to that. And you could actually, should be able to find out who belongs with some help from your director over in Nashua. And you can call all the people who don't belong and say, how come you don't belong? Do you want my show anyway? So.
Well, I release nationally right now. I've done over 90 shows in 2 years.
And those have been going national.
Yes.
Wonderful. Is that the only place you've gone with them? Is to the ACM? Is that what you're using?
I'm using
Alliance for Community Media?
No, it's Teleview. I believe it's an association
With
at
Teleview?
Teleview, and I also use PEG Media.
Yeah,
So
that's an association with the director.
Right, so it's distributed nationally that way, and then after a period, we'll release it. At first it goes in Nashua, and then we release it nationally, and then we release it to a blog. And our blog to date has been seen in over 76 countries.
Okay. Did you give me the blog address to put at the end of the?
I did. Everything is fairy tale
Okay.
access.
All right.
Just like everything in life
So
is
you-
fairy
fairy
tale
tale.
accessible.
So you'll
So
be
we
able
have-
to look at the end of the show and see the contacts for
Right. So
head
Facebook.
fairy.
The blog has a little more information and links to the people that we've interviewed.
You must be doing this like full time.
No, I tape in New Hampshire once a month.
Once a month.
Once
Okay.
a month, I do 4 or 5 shows in one day,
Oh,
back
okay.
to back.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they go into editing and they're released weekly. We're working on the shows overseas now, so within, I would say, the next 4 to 6 months, no, we hope to be on the road again, and then eventually doing at least.
Great.
Well,
There's a
He's
puppy
just
under the table, and she's protecting us from whoever is standing outside of the studio door.
oh,
So just ignore that little woof woof.
it'd be great to bring along.
Shh.
We have, let's see. So which part was I telling you? Sorry.
The dog totally distracted me. You were telling me about how you tape 5 shows a day back to
Right.
back in New Hampshire.
So in New Hampshire, I usually tape 1 day a month, 5
Yeah.
shows
And
back
that's
to back.
definitely the way to do it. Yeah.
It's fun. They're all different. They're all engaging.
Yeah.
And then
Do you
with
run
the
in and change
shows,
outfits in between? Or
I
you get
do.
To, yeah.
because
I
nobody
don't want
wants to
people
see
think-
me in the same
I
thing
was going
all
to say
day.
nobody wants to think that's
Unless
the
I'm
only
only
outfit you
working
have.
with, well, when I'm working with kids, then I
You
have
get your
the
costume?
fairy
Yeah,
outfit on.
yeah.
And I have young children that come in and will host shows for me, so
Yeah.
we work together beforehand so I can prep them on how to do their research and you know who they want to interview. So they've interviewed bands that have made the top in New England. They've
Fantastic.
interviewed fairy tale characters,
Yeah.
Snow White, and they're adorable. 'Cause, you know, why did you take the apple? And the woman that played Snow White,
Yeah.
she looked just like her, and it was so
Oh.
cute because suddenly she was nervous that day with 2 7-year-olds, and they were like, "Why are you nervous? You've done a movie." So, I mean, just
I
the
love kids.
things that they
Yeah.
come up with, they're so adorable. And so, by doing the shows overseas and here, it gives people and children especially the opportunity to meet other children, to see how much they're alike and, you know, which differences. So you don't have a pyramid in your backyard? Wow. Or you do. That's amazing. What is it like? Oh, you know, it's like that thing down the street, you know,
Yeah.
or
Around the corner from the Sphinx.
right. But, you know, and
Yeah.
a lot of, it's funny because, you know, a lot of people haven't visited all of their sites. Just like here, you know,
Yeah.
you have the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Mass. Or, you know, and you might live in the area.
There's a Boy Scout museum in Londonderry somewhere. I've never seen it.
See?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, but because it's different, you appreciate it more.
Yeah.
So understanding other cultures and just, you know, allowing the children to ask questions.
So now you're concentrating on Egypt now.
Egypt.
Is that like a project that you're going to do for a certain length of time and then maybe bring another country into this?
No, we're looking at going through the Middle East and doing a different country
Okay.
almost every month, every other month. Wow. Depending on how well editing goes.
That is a lot of work.
No, the hardest part is that when you're working with a team in another country, it's dealing with the internet. So where we have 4G and you get really fast internet, sometimes their internet is just not
so slow.
It's so slow. So it could take a couple of days to get editing material back. And then you have to review it. And there's so many different components to editing that if you're not exactly mirroring the same programs, they're really hard to edit. So you have to make notes, send it back, explain it. But it's fun. It's all fun. And it's a great team to work with. I was really lucky.
I think it's more than just fun. I think it's important work.
Oh, thank you.
I really do. I think this is something that can only be beneficial. And like I said, the better we get to know people, the more tolerant we'll be, the more inclusive we will be. And we need that.
Absolutely.
We really need that. So.
Well, it's fun. I try to have different travel companies come in our destinations, or sometimes we'll stop by and find out a little bit about them and what they do, and show, you know, pictures or footage from the actual sites. We did one in Mount Vernon that's coming up. And then meeting people from everybody, from a mermaid who can explain what autism is like. Or how bullying feels, and get other children to talk with their parents while they're watching the show. And, or you know, the doll repairer, which was on one of my shows. And, you know, she showed us some horrific pictures of dolls that she just cleaned up, but some were in a fire, some were packed away and moldy, and just different techniques of how she cleaned them. And then how did she get into that business? How does someone become a doll repairer? You know, but it was just a really interesting story. And I think that the more we discover people and the choices that they make and why they make their choices or what leads them that way, the more young people can make better choices.
I think you're right.
And be more accepting of the people around them. So that's what we hope to achieve a little bit of.
And the puppy agrees. I think we're all done. Can you wait a minute? Okay. I'm talking to a real dog down there.
She is.
I would like to thank you. I think this has been fantastic, very interesting, very different from anything that we've done before. And I'm going to, okay, yes or no, she doesn't can't make up her mind. I just want you to know that I'm going to talk with the director and make sure that we can get at least some of these shows on the air here so that people can see what you're doing, because I think they're very interesting, that they're very useful, important, and I think it'd be great to have them on. So I will be doing them. She's teasing me. I want to come up. I don't want to come up. Lay down.
But
so anyway,
we've had a lot of children come in. From the furthest so far has traveled a couple of hours. He had a parent who's in a very famous rock band.
See, real dog.
But, you know, he came on and he wanted to talk about what he was doing. His parents were going through a divorce, and he was a very talented young person. So we're like, of course. And we're like, we won't ever mention who your parents are, you know?
Yeah, sure.
You know, it gives them all the opportunity to just interact with other kids. We've had boys that came in and, you know, they wanted to try being an anchor person. we've had girls come in that have also wanted that experience. And, you know, we've sent little boys over to the Sea Museum to tell us what's going on in there and discover it all. Or we've sent them to baseball games to find out, you know, the inside track, what goes on behind the scenes. And so whatever they want, we'll make it happen for them.
Sounds
so they can
great.
try it.
Sounds great. Good show. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. And I just, like I said before, I'm going to get some of these shows and I'm going to ask Erin and Drew to play them on the Londonderry Access channel. If you would like more information, you want to contact Denise Marie. Her contact information is at the end of the program. And if you would like to contact me, as I said in the beginning, it's all about you. Whatever you want to see on the show, whatever you want to say, whatever topic you want us to cover, just let us know. We want to hear from you. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I hope that you will keep tuning in. And don't forget, if you want to be a part of the program, if you want to learn how to run camera, do audio, be a director, be a host of your own show, a producer of your own show, give Erin a call at the studio. The number is 432-1100, extension 185 for her, and that's the end too. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, and we'll see you on the next show. Thank you.